Hello everyone, it's Missy. Thank you for watching. For today's video, I wanted to share some summer hairstyles. These are all styles that I love to wear in the summer, so I really hope you enjoyed today's video. Make sure to like and subscribe, click that notification bell, and let me know in the comments which of the three hairstyles is your favorite, and let's get started. To start the first hairstyle, I'm going to divide off two sections of hair from both sides of my head. I'll be using these for the first twist in the hairstyle. So I'm going to twist both of these sections upwards, and then I'm going to take an elastic band and tie them together at the back of my head. To make sure the sides are twisted enough, I'm also going to take the ends and flip them around the elastic band one time. Now I'm going to go back over the two twists and carefully pull on the edges because I want them to be really big and full. Now I want to create one more twisted section, so I'm going to divide off two more sections of hair. These are going to be right below the first twists, and I'm dividing off a section on both the left and the right side of my head. I'm going to twist each section upwards again, and then I'm going to tie them together at the center back of my head using an elastic band. Now I'm going to flip the ends up and around the elastic to ensure they're twisted, and then I can go back over them and carefully pull on the edges to make the twists as big as the first one. Now with the remaining hair left down, I'm going to create a pull-through braid. So what I'm going to do is divide the bottom hair into two sections. So I'm going to split the hair horizontally so I have a top and bottom section. And with the top section, I'm going to split this hair in half, and I'm going to wrap the two sections around the bottom section so it's going up through the middle. And I'm going to pick up the bottom section and bring this up to the top of my head, clipping it out of the way. Then I'm going to take an elastic band and wrap the two sections together at the nape of my neck. And now I can let down the hair that was clipped away, and I'm going to repeat those same steps again. So I'm dividing the top section in half, and I'm going to wrap each section around the bottom section. I'm going to bring the bottom section up the middle and clip it against the top of my head to keep it out of the way. And then I'm going to bring the two halves of the top section back together and tie them off using an elastic band at my neck. I'm going to repeat these steps twice more, working my way down the section of hair. So I'm always splitting the top section into two halves and bringing the bottom section up through the middle, clipping it out of the way. And then I'm combining the two sections back together and tying them off using an elastic band. And these are the steps to creating a pull-through braid. And you can create a couple sections or work your way all the way down to the bottom of the section. I ended up creating about 4 full sections, not counting the very first one at the top. I didn't count this because I didn't pull it out all of the way. But then once the braid is done, to make each section of the braid bigger, I of course went back over each one and pulled on the edges to make them fuller. I like to make my braid almost as wide as my neck, so the whole style flows together and has a more casual, lived-in look. Moving on to the second hairstyle, this is such a basic braid. I'm really excited to finally be sharing a tutorial for this one. So I'm going to start with my hair parted on the left side, and then of course divide off any hair that I want to stay out and frame my face. Then with my fingers at my temples, I'm going to divide off a section of hair at my crown to use for the braid. I like to start my fishtail braids like a regular 3-strand braid, so I'm going to divide this section into 3 pieces and cross the left strand over the middle and then cross the right strand over the middle. Now I'm going to combine the middle and left strand together and switch to a fishtail braid. So I'm dividing off a small section of hair from the left side and crossing it over to the right. Then I'm picking up a new section of hair from along my hairline and crossing it over to the right side as well. And then I'm taking a small piece from the right side and crossing it over to the left. Then I'm dividing off a new section of hair from the right side of my hairline and crossing it over to the left side as well. And I'm just going to repeat these steps, continuing the fishtail braid until I've brought in all of the hair from the sides of my head. So I'm crossing small sections from one side of the braid over to the opposite side, while incorporating new sections of hair from along the hairline. I like to bring in medium-sized sections, and it can be fun to play around with the size of the sections and see if you prefer to bring in really small sections or larger sections. It will definitely change the look of the braid once you're done, depending on how large or small your sections are. If the sections are really small, it'll be a really tight, intricate looking fishtail braid. And if the sections are really large, then it can look closer or more similar to a French braid. So once I've brought in all of the hair and the braid reaches the nape of my neck, I want to make sure I'm holding all of the hair in my two hands, so I have two sections of hair, and it can be really helpful to bring in all of the hair once the braid reaches the nape of the neck. Otherwise, if you bring it in further down, it can kind of sag. But I'm just going to continue braiding the section a little further down, and you can stop the braid at the nape of your neck for more of a ponytail style, or you can braid all the way down to the ends of your hair. It just depends on the type of look that you're going for. I ended up braiding down until I really couldn't reach anymore and my arms started to ache. And then I just grabbed an elastic band and tied off the bottom of the braid. It was about halfway down to a quarter of the way down. But now that the braid is done, I want to mess it up a little bit and add some texture. So I'm going to pull on the edges of the braid and along the middle of the braid as well, so it's not all neat and tidy. I'm also going to pull on small pieces of hair from along the top of my head to add some dimension to this part of the hairstyle. I love the look of a fishtail braid, so let me know in the comments section what you think about this braid and whether you prefer to keep it clean or a little bit more messy. For the third hairstyle, I'm going to start by dividing out the section of hair that I'll be using for the braid. So with my part on the left side, I'm going to draw a part line down the back of my head, slightly off center from the crown of my head to the nape of my neck. Then I'm going to clip off the hair on the left side. Now I'm going to create another part on the right side from the crown to the nape of my neck and clip away the hair on the right side. And now that this section is divided off, I'm going to begin the braid. So I'm picking up a small piece of hair at the top of the section and dividing it into 3 smaller pieces. I want the braid to sit out on top of my head, so I'm going to be doing a Dutch braid. So I'm crossing the side strands under the middle strand, and after the first stitch of the braid, I'm going to start incorporating new sections of hair into the braid. So I'm crossing the side strand under the middle, then I'm picking up a new section of hair and crossing it under as well, bringing it into the braid. And when I'm picking up these new sections, I want to make sure I'm only bringing in hair from this section that I've divided out. This will simply keep the braid looking cleaner since we're pulling the hair in a straight line. It can be helpful to do this by looking in 2 mirrors as well so you can see more easily. So I'm just continuing the Dutch braid, working my way down the back of my head. And then once the braid reaches the center of the back of my head, I want to start incorporating hair from the sides of my head. So I'm going to remove the clips from the 2 side sections and start picking up small sections of hair from next to the braid and bring these in with each cross under. I'm going to first take sections from right next to the braid and then slowly work my way outwards towards the hairline. I brought in really small sections because I wanted them to be easy to see. You can play around with this and try it with larger sections or smaller sections to see which one looks best. And as I'm braiding, I also made sure to pull the braid tight with each cross under because otherwise the pieces that are being brought in can start to puff out, and once the braid is finished, it can be really tricky to go back and fix these. So once the braid reaches where I want my ponytail to sit, I'm going to combine all of the hair together and tie it off with a hairband. Then I'm going to go back up the braid and gently pull on the edges. This will help make sure the braid is straighter because sometimes when you're braiding it can kind of bend and be a little bit crooked. And then I'm going to hide the hairband with a section of hair. So I'm just going to divide off a small piece from the ponytail, wrap it around the hairband a couple times, and then tuck the ends back through the elastic band underneath the ponytail to hold it in place. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed today's tutorial. Make sure to let me know in the comments section which of the 3 hairstyles is your favorite, and if you plan on trying them out. I really like knowing that my videos are helpful. Make sure to like and subscribe, click that notification bell in case you haven't already, then you'll never miss future videos, and I will see you next time.